Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll walk you through creating a register functionality in Laravel and demonstrate how to use database transaction. By the end of this tutorial, you will have a secure and reliable user registration process. Let's dive in. Now, before proceeding further, I'll tell you why I have created service class. So, service class is basically created so that all the model functions can be handled in that instead of handling everything in controller. You can do that in controller also, but it keeps your code a bit, more precise and little optimistic. So, not here. In user service, I'm creating the function to create the user. So let us create the function named as register. Okay, or register user. Okay, so now here I'll tell you uh, two concepts basically. So one would be the transactions and other would be try and catch. So try and catch I have used if there is any exception. In that case, what you have to do. So always keep your code inside the try and catch and always do proper error handling. And now the second one is transactions. So what transactions are? So basically when you run any database function in that case, before running that, we begin the transaction. So that in case if there is any error in between, then whole transaction could be reversed rather than committing the data with some error or something like that. So for that, we have to use these functions. So begin transaction to begin commit. Once everything is done, then commit and roll back if there is any error or anything like that. So in case of error, I'll log the errors so that in future, when you see your log file in that, you can find why exactly the script broken down. So I'll include these classes, illuminate, support packets. Okay, they are included. Now, let us start creating the function. So I'll create the user. So user model, create. Inside that, I'll pass an array. In the left side, you'll write the name of the columns, and on the right side, the values, their values. So these were the name of the columns, name, email, password. So you're getting everything from request. All right. Okay, I have to include the request as well in this function. So I'm using create user request. Okay, so here also you can either use that instance or you can just pass dollar request because you would be passing already validated data into this function. So dollar request name, likewise email and password. And for password, correct. So this one is created. Now let us send the token back to the user once we are done with creating the user. So we'll be creating using create token function in which auth token would be passed and we'll get plain text token. So that basically contains that peer error token which we need for all the APIs to run. So now let us return that. Now let us return the response. Here I'll be using the user resource, the one which I have created. So user resource, they what they do that you pass the object to them. They modify the object on the basis of your requirement and send the same response which is required on the front end. So for example, there are 7 columns in the user table, and if you want only 2 column out of them, then you can exclude them, or you can only include only the required columns. So that is why user resource is created, just to send the required information instead of sending the object with all the data. So I have created the array and sending that in the response like that: user access token, token type, that would be bearer, and db commit will come before return, uh, because after return the code will not be working. So yeah, so once the user is created successfully, it commits the transaction and then return the response. Now let us come back to the auth controller. I'll create one protected variable here named as user service, and we'll create the constructor. Inside that, I'll create the object of user service and we'll store that into the protected variable. Now I'll use this variable, I mean this object, uh, and we'll call the register user with $request as input parameter, and that's it. Now it is done on the controller end. Let us check on the postman. Name, email, and password underscore confirmation. These are the parameters which are required. Test23@gmail.com. Password abc23 and password underscore confirmation abc1234. Send. You can see the user is created successfully, and we are receiving the access token as well, the token type too. Right now, all the user inside the user, everything is coming. So you can exclude or include only those columns which you want in user resource. And let us check the user API, the one which was by default created when you install, Laravel install API module. So let us test that one. So API slash user, this was the one. It is get API in accept. I have to pass application slash JSON. Bearer token will pass the token which I have received, and you can see the data came properly in my user API.
I hope you enjoyed my video.